Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today I got a super awesome episode for you. Today we are going to make a $100,000 grub. That's right. Maybe you misheard. Maybe you thought you misheard me. But in fact, if you follow any of the professional bass fishing events, there was a Bassmaster event, just one, with a grub. I believe his name was Hank Cherry. Used a chartreuse pepper grub. He just put it on a jig head with a little prop at the top, a little propeller, and he was able to win the entire event, and he won $100,000. So today we are going to be just making some grubs. I have several different colors here. We're gonna do a color for each one of these. This is just a little tiny 4-cavity grub mold. Used for smaller orders. I also do have a larger 20-cavity production mold, and I'm getting made an even larger 60-cavity production mold. These things sell. They've been selling forever. They've been around decades. I believe that the curly-tailed grub was actually the first soft plastic. Certainly as far back as the 80s, and maybe even earlier than that, people were using curly-tailed grubs. Now, one other thing to know here. This is considered a 4-inch grub. I know that this doesn't look 4 inches, but that would be 3 inches from the head to the tail. But these grubs are measured if you stretch them out. So if you were to take this tail and stretch it out, it would measure at 4 inches. Now Hank Cherry, I believe that's his name, he won the tournament with a 4-inch grub, which of course means that once you stretch it out, it would be at 5 inches. So 1 inch longer than what this will stretch out to be, but that doesn't really matter. Today we are going to be diving into making a bunch of different grubs. We've got 4 different colors that we're going to go through. We've got MF makes lots of cool colors. It's going to be almost entirely an MF day today. We've got Transflow Yellow. I don't know if you can see that. It is a 3340. This is from MF if you want to buy it. If MF's website is currently up and currently shipping orders, if you wanted to buy it elsewhere, you can also go to Zeiner's Angler Supply. Ben stocks these. He stocks like all the MF colors and everything. He does great service and great shipping too, so fast shipping. So if you wanted to find this elsewhere outside of MF, there is the option. The first color is going to be 3340 Transflow Yellow. That means transparent yellow. Next, we are going to test out a color called Chartreuse Shad 3372. Next, we're going to do a Transflow Chartreuse 3326. And then finally, to round it out, Barlow's has released some fluorescent colors, and we're going to check out what this fluorescent color, this fluorescent orange, looks like. Now, first impressions, if you look at all these, we can take the orange one out of it. This appears to be, well, this Transflow Chartreuse appears to be more yellow, like the sun-colored yellow, and the Transflow Yellow appears to be more green, more chartreuse. Now, this is just like, at eye level, looking through the bottle. We'll certainly see once we pour all these molds, but just right off first impressions, this, which is labeled chartreuse, appears to be more yellow, and this, which is labeled yellow, appears to be more green. So we'll get into it, and we will be right back as soon as our plastic is ready. Okay, we are back. Our plastic is ready, and in no particular order, we're just going to start pouring these. We are going to be adding a little bit of random cut black flake. We will be selling that at some point. We're just kind of waiting on shipping for that now. We will start with Transflow Yellow. Trans means transparent. And we've got exactly 1 cup of plastic, so we're going to do 35 drops. Actually, let's do 40 drops. Transparent colors are usually, you need a little bit more saturation, so we'll do 40 drops. Alright. That is a little bit more than 40 drops. Super transparent yellow. We're going to go in with 1/4 of random cut black flake. And we are going to go ahead and shoot our mold. I know my hand's a little bit in the way there because of this top-down view we've got. It's actually on a big old camera frame, so I might just move the camera up a little bit, but for right now you get to deal with the hand. There we go. And we'll be right back when our next color is ready. Okay, we are back, and we are going to move on to our next color, Chartreuse Shad. Again, we have 1 cup, we're going to do 40 drops. Alright, there's 40 drops. Again, we're going to add our 1/4 teaspoon of black random cut. Alright, we got more of a, I don't know, it looks kind of like a pearlized yellow-green. I'll go ahead and shoot the mold. I did move the camera up just a little bit. I know you're still seeing knuckles, but you know, that's just one of the things we're going to have to deal with. I'll move the camera around and eventually get the right angle. For right now, you get to see some knuckles. I'll show off the new couples tattoo me and my wife got on Valentine's Day. Okay, we are back. Now it is time for Transflow Chartreuse, transparent Chartreuse. And again, we're going to do as close to 40 drops as we can get. Right about 40 drops, and we will put our black flake in. Super green. Go ahead and shoot our mold. This is perhaps very similar to the first color we shot. The only difference being this one looks a little bit more yellow. Alright, in a last minute gameplay change, I figured since we have a nice little line of chartreuse going, we'd kind of stick with this. So instead of doing orange, which is totally different than anything we have, we're going to sub that out. And instead, we're going to use emerald green, another MF color, actually also from Ziners. This is supposed to be like a super, like maybe a little bit darker of a green. We'll have the same black flake and everything, but just so we have a nice line of all green, kind of stick with the theme here. Alright, we are back. Plastic is ready. We're going to go in with our MF Emerald Green. Once again, doing about 40 drops, or as close to that as we can. Go in with our quarter teaspoon of black flake, give it a mix, there we go. Super dark green, and we'll go ahead and shoot this mold. And as you can see, this is a way darker green. Alright, we are back. It is time for everyone's favorite time during the video, which is demolding time. We've got all of the individual molds that we shot in the order that we shot them. First, we have our Transflow Yellow. Go ahead and open that mold up. And we have a very yellow, kind of highlighter looking color. Alright, moving on, we have our next one, Chartreuse Shad. Alright, very interesting. This is a little bit more like if you were to take pearl powder and dump it into one of these chartreuse colors. This is kind of like a pearlized yellow. Alright, next up we have our Transflow Chartreuse. Ooh, it's bright. And this one is very similar to the previous, the Transflow Yellow, except for this is very much more green, like super bright green actually. It would probably make a really good, like, we might do a separate video on just different flake combinations that you could have for this, because this is like a super bright, like a highlighter color green. Alright, and then last but not least, we have our emerald green. This is much darker than the other ones, but in sticking with our chartreuse green blend, this is a very bright green. Okay, we are back. This is last look. These are all of the baits we shot in the order that we shot them. First we've got Transflow Yellow right here. Very much yellow, chartreuse color, very transparent. Probably do really well in, I don't know, maybe semi-dingy water. Something, give them something they can actually see. Next we had the Chartreuse Shad. This is more of a muted yellow, more like if you took pearl powder and were to dump it into one of these chartreuse colors. This is, I kind of feel like this is what you would get here. A little bit more muted, a little bit more of like a, maybe an olive green. Probably make a really good top color for a laminate. Next we had Transflow Chartreuse. And this is our green highlighter right here. Very much more green than the yellow. This is actually the color Chartreuse Pepper. This is the color old Hank Cherry won that event on. This is the $100,000 grub right here. And then last but not least we had our emerald green. Much darker. Still very transparent. And definitely would make a probably a good top color for a laminate, and probably also we'll probably do a separate video on this, just different glitter combinations that you could put in here. I mean, you could probably do gold, you could probably do blue, you could probably do purple. But there you go, those are all of the baits that we shot in the order that we shot them. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Let me know in the comments actually what your favorite color is. Which one would you toss? I'm personally between these two here. I think that although I can see a difference with my eye, I don't think that the fish could actually see a difference. So I'm between these two colors right here, and of course old Hank Cherry was too, and that's why he won $100,000. So if you have any comments, let me know.